Hey guys, welcome to the channel. My name's Bobby. I'm here to discuss, react, have some fun, and chill. Let's get on with it. This guy's name is Decoy Voice, and he has a video for us.
Los Angeles has officially become third world living at first world prices, as early Saturday morning, a group of 50 vandals were allowed to take over the streets, not only attacking the trains, but the responding police officers as well.
That's not good. That's not good at all. And I think that we should start doing something about it. Why aren't there a lot of other citizens out there helping the police stop this? I mean, like, come on, police! Like, give me some kind of notice or something. Like, people causing trouble in downtown. You need a couple of heads of your own. You send out a reverse 911. You get us out there. This is ridiculous.
What was captured on video over the weekend, people targeting stores, metro trains, and police cars with graffiti and vandalism is just the latest act of chaos that's been going on for months. He says about 15 to 20 underground parties happen every weekend, with police and businesses struggling to keep track.
Not one.
No matter what anybody else says in this video, this is caused from a lack of factories, in my opinion. Law and order, yes, but a lack of money. We don't create anymore. All these young people should be literally at, entry level, no skill level jobs, like low skill level jobs that pay a livable wage, but they're not. They can't. They go work at Papa John's for a couple months and they get fired because they don't know Spanish.
One party promoter.
Sorry, my cat's being horrible. Hold on. Hey, what are you doing? Stop it. Stop it, little one. Come on, guys, get out. All of them. Come on, the whole can. Brood. You too. You're bad sometimes. Had to kick 4 cats out. Sorry.
Not any person granting access to a space to be used has been held accountable.
LAPD officers were lined up in riot gear, fired rubber bullets after multiple warnings to clear this area. No one was hurt, but several businesses...
No arrests? No arrests? You're telling me there's no arrests? You're telling me that there's... You're telling me they didn't arrest a single person? I don't have to be the one to explain to everybody how weak this makes us look as a country, do I? I don't have to sit here and explain that this is like the end time. This is like for this to be allowed to happen, a lot of really bad things needed to happen first, and a lot of really bad things are going to happen after, because there's something called precedent. And when that precedent is broken and people can do whatever they want, then suddenly it's chaos and you don't care. You might care, but I'm saying the royal you, like the hypothetical you, the person that I'm actually meaning to talk to right now. You won't care until it happens to you, and that's not compassion. That's the opposite. That's selfishness. Being able to imagine yourself in a situation, like imagine if it was your business that you just set up after 20 years of labor. You finally get a storefront open and some kid throws a trash can through the front of your window and you're not insured yet. Your insurance comes in a day or two. People get into situations like that. Now they have to go thousands of dollars in a giant stained pane glass window and have it put in there. And also it takes a bunch of money to not be open for these many days. Like, you're affecting real people whenever you do things like this. And you can't act like this anymore, America. There needs to be serious consequences. And I think that everyone should give some money to the police. With as much vigor as everyone's given money to Shiloh Hendricks and Anthony Kamara Bulu that stabbed that kid, whatever his name was. He stabbed Austin Metcalf. Kamara Bulu stabbed Austin Metcalf, and and everyone gave them a bunch of money. Let's give that much. Let's keep giving to our police departments. Join the 100 Club, because cops are the people that get babies out of car crashes, and sometimes those babies aren't alive. Cops are the ones that have to clean up after meth heads. Sometimes those meth heads aren't alive. Cops are the ones that have to come and save you and be Batman, literally be Batman, because you and your moral sensibilities don't allow you to carry a weapon. So you have to put not just your life on the line, but the lives of the people trying to defend you, because you're selfish and you are a coward. Not the people that like guns and like the police. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the cowards that don't realize that the cop they hate would give up their life for them. And these cops are being treated like this. With the graffiti on the cars. Look at this. This is how they're being treated. Look at this. This is how they're being treated.
Well,
Is what was captured on
It's look at the smile on his face. Yeah, smile, buddy. Keep smiling.
video.
Yeah, it's
over the
good. This is
weekend.
all
People
so
targeting
great. Isn't it
stores,
great
metro
that no one's
trains,
going to
and
want to
police
invest in
cars
this
with
neighborhood anymore? Isn't it great that no one's going to want to invest in us? Isn't it great that our neighborhood's going to turn into a ghetto? Isn't it so fun?
and vandalism is just the latest act of chaos
Oh!
for months. He says about
Makes
15
me
to
so
20
angry!
parties happen every weekend with police and businesses struggling.
I'm
to
really
keep
mad.
track.
This
Not
gets me
one
really
party
heated.
Promoter, not any person granting access to a space to be used has been held accountable.
LAPD officers were lined up in riot
Look at
gear,
that.
fired rubber bullets after.
If they were lined up in riot gear, then why didn't they come in and control the riot? I think that there are some politicians that want the land to be devalued so that they can come in and buy it. I think they want all these storefronts to be emptied and all these people to become bankrupt so that they can come in and fund the police after they buy all of this property for cheap. It's the same reason that they let every time they just let a fire happen. That's why. And this is the same reason, because people, not just Democrats, mostly Democrats, but sometimes Republicans, they just let things like this happen because they know that they can profit greatly off of it, because they can't, there's rules against certain kind of ways that they can make money. So the way they make money is they turn an area that they want to buy into garbage and then reinvest our money into it to make it not garbage so that their investments go up. Don't believe me? Go ask AI.
Warnings to clear this area. No one was hurt, but several businesses and metro trains were damaged. There were no arrests.
In fact, hold on. We're gonna ask AI right now. Hold on. How many politicians in America own more than 2 properties? This is what I was thinking about. Congressional and financial disclosures. Most of them own multiple real estate holdings. Like Senator Jeff Merkley is crime high in his in the area he owns property. Portland, Oregon. This senator owns property in Portland, Oregon. What is the crime rate in Portland? So, total crime, 7,000 per 100. That's a lot. That's a lot. I know that's a lot. I've seen other crime stats. I know that's a lot. Yeah, look, Tampa, it's okay. So basically, it's like 14 times worse than like a place in Florida. Like Portland is like 14 times worse. And so what these people do, I'm not accusing this specific senator of doing this. I don't know for certain. But whenever you have so many dots on a graph that it starts becoming like not just a line but a picture, like there's an actual picture going on where you can start to imagine what's actually happening. And I think what's actually happening is what it seems like. It's an easy way to get money, so it's a perfect hurricane. There's people that hate the West. There's people that want to see America fall for whatever reason, whether they think it's like patriarchy or that we're colonizers, whether it's racial or based on sex or whatever. These people are insane, and they don't care about morals. They will do whatever it takes to be able to gain $1 billion and to be able to die in a pyramid with all their slaves, because that's how humans are whenever they don't have God and Jesus Christ in their life.
We cannot do this.
Like
we
this woman.
cannot do this in our city, and it has.
I think this woman. Hold on, Karen Bass. Sorry to keep pausing it. If you guys want to go check out the original video, go check out Decoy Voice. Really great commentator. I think that I have a lot to learn from him. He's a really good YouTuber, man. I gotta say something about that dude. Go subscribe to Decoy Voice. Subscribe to me too. Give me a sub, but sub to Decoy. Let's see. Let's see what here. Does Karen Bass own property? Okay, so there's been Beverly Hills and Malibu homes mentioned in some sources. Speculative and unverified. All right. I think that she's like a woman that's like trying to become rich like them. I think that's why she, like Gavin Newsom, I believe, and this is my opinion. This is an opinion. I think Gavin Newsom's like, hey, we're just going to let it all burn. This is like unsustainable anyways. There's no way that we can have, any kind of formative, community. If there's this big of a wealth gap, we need to clear off some land. We need to rebuy. We need to rediversify. And these people, they just so happen, I believe, to financially benefit from it greatly. Like, listen to how dishonest she is.
Has to be stopped. We have to be very aggressive about it, because we will never send the signal that maybe this is acceptable behavior.
Then why didn't you arrest anybody?
This is coming from the mayor that just sent the signal. You can destroy entire sections of the city and nobody will be arrested. As previously they allowed LA to be destroyed over social justice in other parts of America, and then perceived social injustice in other countries oceans away. But now these idiots don't even need a reason, they're just allowed to take over the city whenever they can get enough of them together. Because we saw plenty of riot officers lined up to detain at least a handful of them, but apparently the mayor never gave the green light to actually do it, as the optics of aggressive arrests over what she perceives as property crimes isn't within her liberal policies.
And there's a reason for that, and it's the reason I just described, because she is getting paid, I believe, by special interests. She's benefiting greatly, or somebody has something on her, and they're benefiting greatly. Either way, I think that, President Trump needs to declare martial law on these people, kind of thing. It's like, send Karen Bass to prison. She doesn't want to send out the police and stop these crimes? Send her to prison. I'm not like, and use the Patriot Act. Send her to Guantanamo Bay. Like, these people are creating chaos in the streets. Send Karen Bass to Guantanamo Bay. Send every DA that lets recidivists just walk the streets and not face horrible prison sentences whenever they continue to commit felonies, violent or not, in my opinion. Decoy Voice, I don't know how he's living in California, because I could never. I live in Texas. Here, they allow me to carry a gun constitutionally, and it's saved my life a couple of times. I don't know how anybody lives in California. Leave if you're living in California. And if anybody can get this message to President Trump, just start arresting all of these politicians, literally send them to prison. You have an army, you have the people behind you. This is a time for a revolution. These kind of people, these politicians that allow there to be this much garbage on the street, they allow it too. Go ask a cop whenever they can actually talk about it. Go ask somebody that actually cares. Go ask somebody that's been in government for 35 years and that are just sitting there watching the people just come in and out. Go ask them. They'll say, yeah, this is not good. If they feel like they can actually talk about it and they don't feel like their career's on the line, if they do, they'll be completely liberal, because the liberals are the fascists. They're the people that say, if you don't believe what I believe, you go to prison. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying if she doesn't believe what I believe, she goes to prison. I'm saying if she allows the streets to rot and benefit from it, she should go to prison.
As other parts of the state have proven, they can quickly shut down these takeovers by rounding up, arresting anybody, and impounding any car involved. It seems pretty harsh to lose your car, but the alternative is to lose civil society whenever the lawless horde gets bored, as police weakness is becoming a known issue with this city.
Just came home from my son's baseball game tonight to this. We had a break-in in our house. It's not cool, and I'll tell you what else. I was on hold with 911 for 59 minutes.
I had the same exact experience, except they didn't send an officer to me. They sent it like 9 hours later, 10 hours later. I was sitting there with my wife and my uncle, and they were just waiting for somebody to come pick up this meth pipe and get rid of this meth head stuff that we evicted from our house. And they just didn't show up. Threats against our life. People were going to show up, and people were showing up. Like, multiple people were showing up, like, trying to, like, bully us and just, threaten us, and nobody showed up. Another time, I got put in back of a cop car for saving somebody. These Democratic DAs, it's their fault. They do DEI hires. They try their best to subvert the West, and that's what they're doing. They're not trying to get what they want done. That's the excuse. They hate the West. They think it should fall, and for something new to be able to be born, they think that the old needs to be destroyed. So they're destroying it from the inside. They're literally traitors. These people need to be sent to prison for life. For life. Like, Karen Bass needs to be sent to prison until she dies for letting that happen, for not saying to the police, go get them. Prison for life until death. It's a death sentence for her, because she cost people their lives. Business owners that aren't going to be able to own business, they don't have to go work at McDonald's. Their wife's going to leave them. They might kill themselves. Karen Bass should go to prison for life. And so should Gavin Newsom, and so should every Democrat that has been allowed. No grace period. No, start fixing it. No. All of them should go to prison. Any Democrat that's been in charge of a city and hasn't done radical martial law type things to get things under control, those politicians should be sent to prison for life. And I'm talking about thousands of them. I'm talking about extremely powerful Democrats and Republicans that have allowed this to happen. Yeah. Everyone in the Biden administration, prison for life. Imprisoned for life. This is a traitorous act upon our country. It has killed countless of our people. It has cost us our livelihoods. These people have cost us everything because of their morals, but it's not. They'll just say that, and they'll deny and deny and deny. But these people are the worst human beings on the face of the planet. They're the reason why China has all of our factories. They sell them all off. They're the reason why the cops have no money. They defund them. They're the reason why the teachers' unions, for some reason, get all this money, but the teachers get none. Because they're evil, self-centered narcissists. And those are the exact kind of people that get into power most of the time. Because, think about it. What kind of person works 90 hours a week, doesn't have a family, tries to get elected like that? In my opinion, it's either somebody that already has the money to do it, in the people, or they're just clinically insane, which a lot of Democrats, I think that's the case, because they the fruit of them being in charge is 911 operators that don't answer or hang up because of your race.
Luckily, the police, when they did show up, came. They were very nice.
Of course they were, because cops are amazing.
But they mentioned how undermanned they are.
Of course they are, because they got defunded.
And that's a problem.
Yes, it is, because you might be the next person that gets broken into, and then there's nothing you can do about it. There's no cop to solve the crime. Your dog is gone, your TV is gone, you're safe with your Social Security cards and everything, and your cash is gone, your gun is gone, everything, your wife's jewelry, your shoes. And yeah, you might be poor and young now and be like, I don't have those things. You might someday. You might someday. And because of the fruit of what you did when you were young, the politics and the air about everything has made it so that there's only 1/4 of the amount of police that there should be. Good job, liberals. Good job on creating the most disgusting, chaotic, most hedonistic, narcissistic, garbage society I could ever imagine. Yeah, I got AC, but I can't ride my bike in my neighborhood without a gun on my hip. That's a problem.
And this isn't just a one-off incident. I lived there for over a decade, and in my last years there, I remember seeing a transient knocked out with a syringe in his arm, laying in the street outside my business. I called 911, who connects me to fire, who says they can't respond without the police. But then the police say they need me to personally detain this unconscious person for the police to respond. And when I told them I wasn't willing to do that, PD hung up, fire hung up, and 911 did nothing. And not just LAPD, but even the CHP, when an old Asian man falling asleep on the freeway hit my car and didn't even notice. I called 911 again.
You won't notice this if all you do is watch Netflix and go to Taco Bell. You won't notice that there's no emergency services anymore. You won't notice that there's violence in the street because you're not in the street. You drive to where you're going and you just hang out at a gas station for 4 hours, see what happens. Gas stations attendants hang out. It's like a Waffle House nowadays.
And they just told me don't follow him even though he's a risk to everybody else, but just go to the nearest CHP station to file a report. And if you've been watching this channel for long enough, I've told countless stories of LA coppers that at best could care less and at worst actually seem fearful of the criminals. But as long as crime stats can appear to decline, they don't care what actually happens to the citizens. As Los Angeles is broke, but the mayor is continuing to cut back on public safety, possibly laying off LAPD civilian employees. As we just saw the effects of this with the wildfires that destroyed the city, where people were wondering why there were so many fire trucks unavailable to fight the fires, but they just cut all the employees that repair those fire trucks amongst several other failures for fire safety. So freezing police hire.
Why would she do that if she didn't want everything to be destroyed so that she could buy it up cheap and make millions of dollars? For what reason would she cut the fire department budget so that she can have gay pride parades? If you don't see or you don't care, you're either ignorant or you're evil. Either way, change.
And laying off non-sworn personnel doesn't mean the police have less to do, it just means taking actual police off the street to complete tasks that should be much cheaper to do. But as long as Mayor Bass can continue her anti-police policies, she could care less on what happens to the actual citizens that will suffer. As back to the wildfires, where Governor Newsom seemed to dance when talking about the damage, with the mayor straight up lying about how fast the residents will be able to rebuild. 4 months later...
Yeah, she did do that. In fact, hold on. This is important. This is really important for you to see. Karen Bass lies. This is big. This is a big deal. Look at this. Lies to residents. Look at this.
Also on tariffs, I often agree with you on tariffs. But how about no tariffs on building
tape. We could get people back, get a couple of things. You had an opportunity to see the devastation. You've seen the extreme low percent couple of things in terms of us expediting. So I doing that.
Mayor, the one thing is they are saying they will not be allowed to start for 18 months.
No, that will not be the case.
Okay, I just hope you're right.
You can hold me to it.
There's 4 groups said that.
No.
That would be they should be able to do it. They should be able to start tonight.
That will not be the case. You know, first we have to take...
Why not? Why can't the residents start cleaning up their properties tonight? Because she wants certain people to be like done with it and be like, this is all my assets. I'll just sell it for cheap. I'll sell it for a lot. I'll sell it for my lot price. That's what she wants. By waiting one day, she's making sure that a whole lot of people have to sell their lots for lot price. Because that's what a lot of people are going to do. They're going to say, well, I'm not going to wait. They're going to contact a realtor and they're going to put it on the market and they're going to move to another state. And she knows it. Do you understand how evil that is? How despicable? Prison for life. Life sentence.
He's now bragging about a single house, barely starting construction, surrounded...
Look how evil this woman is. Homes are under construction throughout the Palisades ahead of expectations. We've taken action to cut red tape and expedite the permitting process to get families home. The permitting process? What are you? The USSR? You're a traitor, Karen Bass, and you need to go to prison.
By at least 10 empty lots of rubble, as it really seems they're going to use the fires as a land grab.
Every dwelling in Malibu has a separate septic system. And these houses in front, many of them were built in the 40s, in the 50s, in the 60s. And the codes were almost non-existent. And they're going to have to update the septic system, which means Coastal Commission, Ocean, Sierra Club, dig it all out. And because of the proximity of the ocean...
That's why they did it, so they can have a new beachfront, so they can have we're going to have a new utopia, just burn it all to the ground. Like I said earlier, liberals are just like, we need to burn it to the ground. Because they're insane. They're insane people. You see a liberal, don't just be like, oh yeah, we just all believe separate things. Ask them why they wanted Hillary Clinton and her pedophile husband to win the election. They'll be like, well, Donald Trump, cult. They're in a cult. Liberals are a cult. They're a death cult.
Ocean, they're going to have to build seawalls. So they're going to be several $1 million into stuff that's buried in the ground. Do you know how much bureaucracy, red tape, and permits worth of nightmare this is going to be?
Why can't they just do it? Why can't you just send in a crew, pay them, and then just do it? Because Karen Bass uses her power, because Gavin Newsom uses their power. They both use their power to make sure that they can benefit as much as possible. They're going to wait. They're going to hold you. They're going to make you wait. They're going to make you wait. You're going to get tired of holding a nothing property. You're going to sell it for nothing. And they're going to buy it. Or one of their friends are going to buy it. I am so absolutely disgusted with Democrats. Send them to prison. Just start rounding them up. Off to prison with you. And trial first. If you have a trial, I guarantee it, Karen Bass would go to prison for life. If she got tried for treason, she would go to prison for life. If Gavin Newsom got tried for treason in an open court, with evidence all on the table in front of a jury of their peers, they would be found guilty of treason. 100%. Almost every single Democrat I know that I can think of off the top of my head, because it's the only way that they can get into power.
You have the last house standing on Malibu Beach. It was singed by the fires. It was not leveled. Very fortunate for you, obviously. But you're hearing rumblings now that those beaches in Malibu, including your house potentially, may be taken by the government under eminent domain.
Property owners that are trying to get covered, that nobody can understand. Why is nothing being done? Why is the beach not being picked up? Why haven't the bore samplings and environmental stuff been done?
You know why.
Why are only 4 permits been approved in...
My cats are being so bad right now.
4 months. And those 4 permits, by the way, Steve, were done before the fires.
4
The talk
permits.
is now that the state of California is planning.
4 permits after weeks, months. 4. All you gotta do is sign a piece of paper that says, yeah, you can go take care of that. Oh, no, it's got to be passed through the committee. Okay, then where's the committee? Where are they? Oh, they're not meeting today. Why? What are they doing? Why? Where are they? Well, they're at another meeting. They're at another committee. Why can't we get other people to do that committee and they can come do this committee? Oh, well, because these people are in charge. They got voted in. I didn't vote somebody for multiple committees. Why can't they just chair one committee at a time? We do it. We get all the stuff done in a week. Once a month, we come in for a week, get it all done. Go to our other 3 things the other weeks. Because conflicting schedules. Why? Are we incapable of doing that little logistical change? Like, are we incapable as a people of figuring out how to make things go faster? I don't think so. I think that it's more that they don't want it to go faster, because if it did, then they wouldn't benefit. They wouldn't get money. And that's why they need to be tried on treason. This is treason. These people need to be sent to prison for life. And I'm not even being radicalized by Decoy. I'm just seeing her talk. It's her talking that's radicalizing me. It's like, oh no, we can't let them go. And why not? Why just be like, yeah, go. Why can't she just say, yeah, it's horrible. Go fix your house up. I'll take to Fallout whenever some Democrat judge comes in and tries to sue you, and just be like, okay, well, throw you in jail. People are trying to clean up their houses. Let's get a bunch of police out there. Let's get the army out there. Oh, we can't do that. Who's saying no? Who's the obstructionist? Because it looks to me like there are some serious problems going on right now, and it's only going to be fixed with an iron fist in the name of Jesus. And these Democrats that have lied like this to the American people, maybe jail's not good enough. Maybe exile. Another country deal with them. Maybe we don't want to even have them in our prison system so they can do something with the news. Maybe we just get them out. Maybe we just say, hey, you can one-way ticket anywhere in the world. You got the money to live somewhere else. You gotta go. You gotta go. We can't have these kind of people here anymore. People like Karen Bass. It's not going to happen tonight. It's not going to happen. Why? Why?
To seize the coastline in Malibu.
Between the fires, land grabs, and rampant crime, it almost seems like a coordinated effort to push regular citizens off this prime real estate in LA. And the only thing worse than being forced out of your own community is the fact that they're using your tax dollars to do it. Why doom scroll on social media all day when you have my concise, lighthearted commentary on the tragic status that is today's reality? So subscribe to Decoy Voice.
Right on. Go subscribe to Decoy Voice and subscribe to my channel. Thanks, everybody. And I will see you in the next one. Put her in jail for life.